Because I want you to know that I'm approachable. I'm a person, I'm a veteran, and I want you to literally feel like you can reach out to me for anything. I answer every email that I get, okay? So even if I haven't answered you yet, I promise I will. So again, I'm Brian Reese. I am the VA Claims Insider. I also manage VetScholarships, and I run a number of mastermind groups. One of them is called Ignite, which I'll talk to you a little bit about today. So really what I do is, as an Air Force veteran myself, a service disabled veteran, this is my opportunity to give back to the veteran community, specifically the service disabled veteran community. If anyone has filed a VA claim or gone through that, you know how difficult and painful that can be. And so I help folks with that. And I help dependents and spouses and folks get scholarships. I help people get federal jobs. I help people start businesses. I do all kinds of stuff. So if there's anything that you need help with, or you have a question about anything we talk about, feel free to send me an email. It's right there on the bottom, brian@genygnite.com. All right, so we're going to get going here. We're going to click ahead. And of course, my first slide click, nothing happened. Come on. There we go. All right, so it worked. So this is one of my favorite quotes. Jay Abraham is a friend of mine. He's just an awesome guy. He runs a number of communities, started a bunch of multi-million-dollar companies. He was has been a supporter of mine. He's been a friend of mine for years. This is his quote, and it's one of my favorites. Nobody ever succeeds without the help of others. So if you think about how you're even here tonight, you're here because of Facebook, right? Mark Zuckerberg creates Facebook, allows somebody like me, a disabled veteran who's got a number of companies now, to reach folks like you and help you. So even just being here tonight, this is a perfect example of this quote. I can't succeed without you, and you can't succeed without me. So we're in this together. We're here together. And I will say thank you. So this is one of my favorite quotes. I'm a huge quote fan, as you'll see as we go along here. So what is my promise? My promise is this. I want this to be the most actionable webinar you've ever been on. I don't know about you, but I hate being on trainings where I feel like I got nothing out of it. Worthless trainings are the worst. So I want you to literally be able to, here, I even have my notebook out to take my own notes. Take notes, and I want you to walk away from this knowing exactly what you need to do next, okay? I'm going to show you exactly how to get the $5,000 scholarship, and I'm going to break it down into simple steps. Things have changed a little bit. So if you've ever won this scholarship before, I'm going to be showing you why it's getting more competitive and why more than ever you're going to want to put some of the things I'm going to teach you into practice, okay? I'm going to share tips and tricks that are literally going to guarantee that you're going to get this scholarship if you're eligible. And I have a bonus for you at the very end. So if you stick around till the end, I have something for you, my gift to you just for being here and spending time together, okay? All right, so why would you listen to me? So this is my family. These are folks that mean the absolute world to me. That's my son, Dylan. On the left-hand side, he's 3.5. That's my wife, Danielle, in the middle. She's active duty Air Force. And that's me on the right-hand side in Afghanistan, getting ready to come home. I did about 9 months in southern Afghanistan and served about 7 years active duty Air Force. And I'm also a service disabled vet. So who I am versus what I do. Who I am, I'm a dad. I'm a husband. I'm a friend. I'm a businessman. I'm a helper and a lover of veterans, and anything that I can do to help the veteran community, I do, whether that's through financial support or just helping you any way that I can. So that's who I am versus what I do. What I do is more on the business side, the education piece. I help people just like you. And tonight, we just happen to be talking about scholarships. So I've got about 10 years of corporate and military leadership experience. My 7.5 years were as an officer in the U.S. Air Force. I've started 5 companies, was fortunate enough to have sold one, and I'm running a couple of the other ones right now. The Millennial Business Coach is the name that I've trademarked. So for anyone who's on right now, who is looking at the scholarship for your dependents, right? So your kids are likely somewhere between 16 and 30 years old. One of the things that I do is I help millennials, the younger generation. I coach and mentor them. So career advice, I help with resume writing, I help apply for jobs, I do interview tips and strategies, all that kinds of stuff. And I also consult for companies. So I'll go in and talk about how do you attract and retain younger employees, which has become a huge issue over time. Again, we talked just a little bit about that. I'm a proud hockey player, fulfilled a lifelong dream, and was able to do that at the Air Force Academy in Colorado. I was also fortunate enough to get a master's from Oklahoma State. Go Pokes, if anyone's a Cowboys fan. And anyway, so some of my MBA was paid for by the scholarship that we're going to talk about today. So again, this is an opportunity for me to give back to you guys. Okay, enough about me. Those are hopefully just some reasons of the reasons though where you go, okay, I'm gonna listen to what Brian has to say. Okay, and I've got the scholarship a number of times. This just happens to be the snapshot of my wife from 2015 saying, hey, congrats, you got the scholarship. $2,500 for fall 2015 and $2,500 for spring and winter 2016. This is the exact email that I want every single person on this call to get, and I think you will. So stick with me here as we step through. Okay, private foundation versus the VA. I fielded a number of questions from folks saying they don't know about a program like this through the VA. Folks, this is offered through the Folds of Honor Foundation. I know their founder and CEO very well. I used to help with the scholarship, actually when this came into practice, with how the essays were going to go, with how we were going to evaluate folks who would get the scholarship. This has nothing to do with the VA. This is through something called the Folds of Honor Foundation. So some other folks have asked, is this actually a real thing? How do you verify it? You can go right out to the Folds of Honor website, and they'll show you how you actually can apply, and that's how I know that the scholarship window opens February 1st. However, even if you've won the scholarship before through Folds of Honor, I'm going to show you why the game's changed a little bit and why you're going to want to stick around, okay? So the $5,000 is not offered through the VA, and that's good news, trust me. The Folds of Honor Foundation is a private nonprofit, and they manage and handle the entire application selection and the award distribution funds if you get the scholarship, okay? Basic eligibility. All right, so if you're on the call right now going, okay, yep, I took that survey thing that you had, Brian, and it said that I qualify, but do I really qualify? I don't want to read these to you entirely. I'm just going to pop them up on the screen. But this is generally the basic eligibility for this. Again, this is brand new because you used to be able to get this as the veteran yourself, but you can't anymore. The service member must be 10% or higher and a combined service-connected disability rating by the VA. So if you're 10% or higher, now you're going to have to actually verify that in the online portal to be eligible. The maximum award amount per year, again, that's per year. So you can apply for this every year. So if let's say your dependent is a sophomore, you could get the scholarship for this year, for the following year, and for their senior year. So you could get up to $15,000 over the next 3 years. And again, it's based on the unmet, I answered a couple questions about that on chat. It's based on the unmet need entered into the financial section in the online application. This is on your honor. You're not going to have to turn over any paperwork or anything like that. But I highly recommend that you use your integrity, use your honesty, talk about what the need really is. Odds are you'll qualify for the max amount, okay? Special note there, the amount cannot be changed once you hit submit. So be very careful with that part, okay? Caution. I pulled that caution sign offline because I wanted to show that to you guys, because there are some cautionary tales here Hold on, somebody's popping in the chat here. Let me turn that off. Hopefully you can still see okay. Caution. All right, so these are really the things that I wanted to show you guys. There's 4 things. What I'm going to teach you is simple but not easy. Okay, 1/6 of you, 16% of you who apply on your own will actually get something. Could mean $1,000. It could be $5,000. So 1 out of 6. 5/6. So that means 84% of you who do this on your own will get nothing. I don't want you to be one of the 5/6. All right. So we're going to talk about how you cannot be one of the 5/6. And there is hope, and that's why we're here together. So don't worry too much. Just stick around. We'll get to some of the high-value content. So the 4 massive blunders. I've helped hundreds of people get this scholarship, and I've seen hundreds of people not get it for a myriad of reasons. But like we talked about, 5 out of 6 who try to do this on their own are going to get nothing. Here are the 4 massive blunders. I'm just going to pop them up there for you. Tons of you are going to miss critical items in the scholarship. There's a number of steps. Once you get into the online portal, there's a number of things that you need to make sure you do. And if you don't do them, you're going to be ineligible. So if you are the veteran, or even if you're the dependent who's on this call, how effective is it if you're the mom or the dad yelling at your son or daughter, hey, don't forget, you got to go in and apply and fill out all this stuff and get your paperwork and make sure it gets submitted on time, or you won't be eligible, right? Sometimes it's hard. So tons of you are actually just who try to do this on their own. You're going to get nothing because you're going to forget stuff. Lots of you are going to wait too long, and the money's going to be gone. So the scholarships come out at a first in, first out basis. So even though the scholarship application window is open from February 1st to March 31st, all right, the earlier you apply, the better, okay? Because it's a first in, first out. So if you've met the criteria, you meet the basic eligibility, and you put everything in on time, if you apply earlier, chances are the money's going to be there, okay? That's number 2. Number 3, many of you are going to miss the deadline. That might seem super simple. But again, if your son or daughter or spouse is the one who is applying and using you as the service-connected veteran to apply, this happens all the time. It doesn't get done. For some reason, they just don't take action, don't apply, and they miss the deadline, and you get nothing, okay? And some of you are going to fail the most critical piece, which is the essays. So you cannot overlook the essays, folks. It's absolutely critical. That piece, I literally cannot emphasize the essay piece enough. I'm going to help you with that as well so that you don't screw that part up, okay? So those are the 4 massive blunders. I have it broken down into tons, lots, many, and some, because I don't want you to make them, okay? All right, for some reason my next button doesn't want to work, so I'm having to click with my mouse. All right, so here's step number 1. I talked about I'm going to have this broken down as simple as possible. Gather the following documents. So whoever the service member is, get a copy of their DD-214 or their DD-1300. The DD-1300 is only if the veteran is deceased, okay? You can still apply if they're deceased. The DD-214, though, is, of course, the document that records your military service. It says whether your conditions were under honorable or other than honorable, but you're going to need a copy of that. So you can write that down if you're taking notes right now to get the DD-214 ready. You're also going to need a copy of a summary of the VA benefits or the VA award letter, which states the percentage of service connection. So if you've never been on the eBenefits website, I highly recommend going there. You can just Google eBenefits. Tell your mom or dad, or if you are the veteran, you can jump on there and just print out a copy of the combined disability percentage. And you need that to show that you're 10% or higher, and you're actually going to be uploading that into the online scholarship portal, okay? For dependents of the service member, you need the birth certificate or a copy of their military ID, front or back. If the scholarship is for your spouse, you need the marriage license or a copy of their current military ID, front or back. And so I did field a number of questions too. I'm now moving on to that bottom part about school enrollment. You don't actually have to be enrolled to get the scholarship. You can be accepted, meaning you have a letter that shows they're accepted. So if you have a son or daughter who's currently a high school senior and is looking at colleges, as long as you have an acceptance letter, you're good to go. We can always go back in later and update the portal to show something else, okay? A copy of a recent report card with school's name and student's name, only if you're already in school. Have that stuff handy. Again, that last one is only if you're already attending school. You're going to need the class schedule, okay? All right, I'm going to click on here. I apologize, guys. I'm not able to answer questions on the fly here. I'll try to get them. We're going to have a Q&A session halfway through, and then we'll do Q&A again at the end, okay? Speaking of Q&A, we're there. Okay, so what questions do you have? Let me pop open the chat box here. We're right on time. In fact, I think we're going to finish early. So I'm in the chat box right now. I also have the Q&A open, so you can ask me anywhere in there, in either one. I'm going to try to hit as many as I can here. So I should cover costs for the fall semester that I've already completed this year. No, Stephen, sorry. So the scholarship window, right, is 1 February to 31 March. So you apply. The scholarship awards will be announced this summer. And then the payout actually comes around September of 2017. So you'll be used for, the earliest the scholarship can be used will be for fall of 2017, okay? Travis, my son is actually my stepson, but what I need to prove he is my dependent, since obviously, what I would do, Travis, is as long as you just have like a memorandum for record that says that he is your dependent and you take care of him, right? Even though it may not show that on the birth certificate. Does he have a military ID? If he does, copy of that's fine. You don't need to prove any more than that. What's the website address to the foundation? Just go to, so a couple people have asked that, just Google Folds of Honor. You can go right there. It's a nonprofit, so it's foldsofhonor.org. And you'll see information there about the scholarship. Will the money be paid directly to the school? Yes. So no funds, Alex, are paid to the member themselves. The funds go from the nonprofit foundation's pot directly to the school's bursar account, and it gets applied to the tuition, fees, books, whatever. Okay, so the money goes directly to the school. What does the essay cover? We're going to get to that, Darren. When can the website is down? Of course it's down because all of you are trying to get on it. No, it's funny. I messaged you regarding my hardship. Can my essay be about the hard? Yes, absolutely, Crystal. So we're going to talk about some essay strategy here as we go on. So just hang tight on that. I'm going to talk actually in the next section. In the next section, we're going to talk about the essays. Did I read the age requirement correctly? Hold on one second. Did it say 24 years old? So if the dependent, so your son or daughter or dependent student, right? They have to be 24 years of age or younger. If it's the spouse who's getting the scholarship, of course, there's no age requirement. I am enrolled spring, summer at USC. I didn't believe financial aid and is nowhere near enough. Hence, he took out the grad loan. How does the scholarship work when I had to take out a loan and that has already been issued? So, Kelsey, that's a great question. This is nothing to do. It's not a loan. It's not a grant. It's just a direct award scholarship. So you'll qualify, basically. USC, I know, is super expensive. So regardless of loans and things you have, what you'll do is in the online portal, when you start to talk about what the actual financial need is that you have, make sure you put in there the loans that you have, because that's debt, right? So if you show that you've got those loans, you've got a better chance. I have a wife and a child in college. Can we receive 2 scholarships? Yes, absolutely you can. documentation you need the service member is active duty. So you need the, if this, okay, so I want to make sure I understand this real quick. So what documentation do you need if the service member is active duty? Do you mean that the spouse or the dependent is currently active duty? I just want to make clear that up. There's a website again, I missed it. It's Folds of Honor. So if you just Google Folds of Honor, it'll be the first hit that comes up. Can you apply more in the multiple programs or schools? No. So it's got to be for one specific program per person. I'm anticipating this cannot be for living expenses. I've got awesome news. It can be for living expenses. So it can be used for room and board, tuition fees, all that. Multiple 214s, yep, that's okay. That's absolutely fine. Cover costs for summer courses prior to, hey, Steven, sorry, man. So it can't, you won't find out if you got the award until summer, and then the scholarship's paid out in September for the fall semester. But the funds can be used for fall, spring, and then roll into summer of 18. So depending on how long you have, you'll be okay there. But the scholarship can't be used retroactively, right? So you can't get it for the fall and then say, well, I want to use it to pay for the previous summer. It doesn't work that way. Apply to multiple programs, suspect post 9/11. No, Marketa, for anyone else who has a question about does this have anything to do with post 9/11 or does it affect the post 9/11 benefits, it does not. In fact, it has no relation to that at all. And it has no relation to anything else that you're already getting. This is something separate and on its own. Does the scholarship have a criteria for what degree plan it will fund? No, there's no criteria at all. You just have to be enrolled or accepted. What happens to the funds if all is not used? So all of it will be distributed, Joe. And to my knowledge, I've never had this happen to anyone I've worked with, to my knowledge, is whatever funds are not used, the foundation takes them back. However, I've never seen anyone get the money taken back, if that makes sense. So anything that's left over has gone to the person. You have living on campus for the grant. No, you do not have, Richard, you don't have to be living on campus for it to be used as a living expense. I think the folks understand that when you're in school or in a master's program, it's sometimes very, very difficult. It's super expensive. And so no. The scholarship site, it's Folds of Honor. So again, Megan, the window's not actually open yet. It doesn't open until February 1st. So you might not find a ton of info about it just yet. David, is there a GPA requirement? Yes, there is. So the GPA requirement, though, is 2.0. So let's say you apply this spring, right? So in another month, you apply. You get the scholarship, and it gets awarded for the fall. You're going to get the $2,500 regardless of what your GPA is. What will happen then, though, is the second $2,500 payout won't happen until you can show that you got at least a 2.0. But so here's something interesting just to put everyone at ease. I've actually worked with people who they took 2 classes, 2 3-credit classes, so 6 total credit hours. They failed one of the classes and they got an A in one of the classes. Their GPA was 2.0. They got the full amount of the scholarship, even though they failed a course. Previous question, active duty service member applying for a dependent. So interesting, active duty service member applying for dependent. Do you currently have a rating of 10% service connected by the VA, or will you by the time of application? That's probably a critical point there. Will funds be used for on-campus living expense? Yep, you can be. Yes, it absolutely can be used for graduate. So it can be used for 2-year programs. So any community college program or master's program, that's 2 years, master's or doctorate. It can be used for any four-year program. So that's like a four-year university, whether it's online or in residence, it doesn't matter. It can also be used for vocational and non-degree granting programs like certification things. So veterinary, potentially nursing, all that kind of stuff. Is there a limited number of scholarships and how many are paid out? So Darren, that's a great question. We're going to get to that. 3 years ago, when I started helping veterans with this, almost nobody knew about it. 2 years ago, a lot more people started finding out about it. And about a year ago, a lot more people started finding out about it because universities and master's programs, in addition to some of them offer like the Yellow Ribbon program and the GI benefits for veterans, they started advertising this on their websites that, hey, if you or someone is service connected, there's this scholarship available to you. It's getting harder to get the money, to answer your question. 3 years ago, it wasn't that difficult. It's getting more difficult now. So what can the veteran get again? I'm not quite sure I understand that, Alex. If you could punch that up again. Just logged in. Is there another way to review the initial presentation? Hey, Gilbert, I'm gonna be following up with folks, and we're gonna keep doing this. What about semester hours? Somebody wrote, wow. Can this be used for graduate level? Yes. We're going to have another Q&A session too, folks. So don't keep the questions coming, but don't worry. We're going to take a, let's see, at about 8 o'clock, I think we're going to take a break for 5 minutes and then we'll come back. All right, I'm going to turn real quick to, I have a bunch of questions in a different section, which is Q&A. So I'm going to answer these real quick. If your disability is only 70%, can you still get scholarship? Yeah, absolutely, Richard. Yep. Scholarship is not subject to major. Scholarship is need-based. So it's based on literally your interpretation of what your financial need is. So for instance, I mean, I literally don't know anyone that wouldn't have some type of living expense, books expense, fees, tuition, whatever, right? So I'm sure there's something there for you. The scholarship cannot be used to pay off federal student loans. Sorry about that. I'm a veteran and spouse of a veteran. Can we both qualify? Unfortunately, it's only for the spouse. So the scholarship's not for the veteran themselves. Retired Army, 100%. Welcome. Both veterans. Does he qualify as a spouse? Both veterans. Ooh, that's an interesting one. My husband and I are both veterans. Could he qualify as my spouse and vice versa? I've never seen anybody try that, but guess what? Let's do it. I'll bet we can. Is there a cost for applying? Absolutely not. But if turns 25, does she qualify for the next one? Yeah, so you should be fine. Don't worry about that. Master's program. Yeah, absolutely. So even if you're just accepted, you're good to go. Never mind, you just answered. Cool. Cool. We have 2 in college. Yes, you can apply. Man, this is like lightning round. You guys are awesome. I had a ton of questions here. I see a couple of folks have raised their hand. I'm going to see if I can add you in here. So if you raise your hand, I can actually hit accept and let you in, but for some reason it's not letting me. So sorry about that. And we went back a slide, unfortunately. So I'm going to skip forward. Okay, so I'm not going to answer any more questions right now, guys. Just we'll get more questions at the end. Again, if you have anything, email me, call me, whatever. I'm actually going to give you my cell phone number so you can text me or call me. If anyone's just logging in, I'm going to try to do 2 more of these live like this. And I'll also make myself available, phone, text, email, whatever. Shoot me any questions. I may have a recording of this available in a few weeks. We'll see if the software lets me do that, okay? All right, so that was the Q&A for now. So again, I'm a huge quote guy. Wanted to throw that out there. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. Good old Helen Keller. Folks, everything I've ever done in my life, whether it's been on a sports team, winning a championship, starting a business, working with veterans, being on deployed teams, the absolutely 100% the things that I do with people is always, always, always much better than anything I can do on my own. So there's no question about that. So if you want to guarantee a $5,000 scholarship, I have something for you. Okay. I'm going to share with you everything that I know that got me $10,000 for my spouse. I've literally helped hundreds of vets over the past 2 years win this scholarship. I'm going to show you exactly how you write the essays and stand out. 24/7 help and support throughout the entire process. So again, we talked a little bit about if this is for your dependents or your spouse, making sure folks follow up, actually follow the timelines, actually hit submit when they're supposed to. Sometimes you need a guide. Sometimes you need a coach, okay? Plus ongoing help and support to create a killer resume, how you interview like an expert, land your dream job, okay, and actually ignite your life and career to a point that you want to be. So let's say you've got kids or dependents in college and they're kind of going, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to have an internship. I don't know what my next job's going to be. I don't know how to write a resume. I don't know how to apply for the scholarship. I don't know how to write essays. This is for you, folks. This is absolutely for you, okay? And I 100% guarantee it because, and the reason why I 100% guarantee everything that I do is because I've literally never had someone I work with who hasn't gotten the scholarship. That's why I'm so confident in doing that, okay? So just a couple of things if you do decide that you want to work with me. You're going to get immediate access to a members only group where you can ask questions, get answers, receive personal help, and connect with others. So if you want to reach me, this is going to be your ability to do that, okay? And for your dependents. I'm also going to share with you my 2-hour mentoring series. I actually have video teaching broken down where I'm going to show you the exact scholarship application process, cradle to grave. Every screen you're going to see, every area you should type in so you don't miss anything, and I'm going to share that with you right away. All right. And I'm also going to give you access to me one-on-one. You're going to get monthly coaching calls. So this platform, Zoom, I use this for all of the educational instruction that I do. I also release monthly lessons. So in addition to getting you the scholarship, which I guarantee that you'll get, as we walk through the process longer, I'm also going to start sharing things on how do you write write your resume? How do you write cover letters? How do you use LinkedIn to reach out to recruiters, right? How do you interview correctly? How do you dress for an interview? All that kind of stuff. The things that your millennial dependents need, all right? Those are the things that I provide inside my mastermind. So deadline info and updates and tons more. Instead of you barking at your kids, get in there and get your scholarship application submitted. I will be the one that helps work with them to make sure that this gets done, okay? All right, so I've got 2 options if you decide you wanna work with me. Again, everything I'm teaching you, you can try to do it on your own, but like I showed you, only 1 out of 6 of you who does this on your own will be successful. 5, 6 of you will get nothing. But if you work with me, I 100% guarantee that you will get the scholarship. So there's 2 options. So option 1 is what I call the Done For You program, okay? Now the reason this one's much more expensive is the work is all on me. I do it for you. So I actually write your essays, I plan your application strategy, I talk with you on the phone regularly one-on-one, and we actually make sure that everything gets submitted on time. So this is a 50-50 split, all right? So you're gonna get $5,000 guaranteed, and I'm going to 2x your money just like that. So if you want to work with me on this level, absolutely, I'm happy to do that. I don't let folks just sign up for this though. I want you to schedule time to talk with me, and we'll just make sure that it's the right fit if you decide that you want to do this. I'm only allowing 20 spots this year in the Done For You, simply because of the amount of work that it takes for me to do that. And because I'm doing the work for you, not with you. I want to make sure that it's the right fit for both of us. Okay. So that's the first option. The second option is what I call the done with you. Okay. This is the more affordable option and likely the better option for most of you. We do the work together as a team inside of my mastermind. So I still guarantee that you're going to get the scholarship so long as you attend 80% or more of the sessions we have and you actually submit everything on time, okay? Or you get every single penny back. It's only $97 a month. You can cancel anytime. Do the math. In 1 year, if you're a mastermind member for 1 year, and I 100% guarantee the $5,000 scholarship, that's at least a 5 times return on your money, folks. So literally, you can't lose. So those are the two options if you do decide to work with me. The done for you option, you've got to email me the done with you. I may punch that in the chat box today. We'll see. I haven't actually opened enrollment yet. But since we're online here right now, I'll let you guys jump in. So if you want to join, here's what you do. Again, that's the Ignite Mastermind. If you're thinking about the done for you program, if you think that's the right one for you, shoot me an email and let's schedule a time to chat. I just want to make sure it's a good fit for both of us before I'm willing to say yes. Option 2, I will give you the chance today to secure your spot if it's right for you. And I really, 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 folks, this is about transformation, and I want to guarantee and make sure that you get the scholarship, okay? So something else that's really, really important to me, giving back. So these two organizations, folks, absolutely love to support them, Folds of Honor and AMVETS. I don't know if you guys know what AMVETS is, but Folds of Honor, of course, is the foundation that I used to help out for this scholarship. They're the ones that are giving all this money. So I do a ton with them, for them, giving back to them. And then also AMVETS, which is the main organization I work through for all the VA disability claim work I do. So they give all kinds of support to veterans just like me, vets like you, who are trying to file a VA disability claim. So 10% of everything we do goes to support these things. So we're giving back to the very things that are helping us. So it's just something that I do. I feel called to do it, and I'm honored to do that. And it's something that's important to my family as well. So, of course, there are some bonuses if you decide to join. So the one bonus you're going to get, I'm going to give you a private one-on-one coaching call with me, regardless of which option you choose. We're going to discuss your application strategy. All right. As I said before, this is getting more competitive than it's ever been, and I want to make sure you're set up for success. Okay. Bonus 2, I'm actually going to give you 4 real essays that have won this scholarship twice. And I'm going to show you with comments and feedback, you can actually see sentence structure, topic sentence, why things were written the way they were, why shorter is better. Okay, we're going to talk about essay strategy here in the next block, but I'm going to give those to you so you can see them. And if you want to actually copy some of the stuff, you certainly can do that. But that's going to be one of the bonuses. And then bonus 3 that I have for you, I've got a quick start checklist for you with timelines and due dates so that you can stay organized and on track. I think this is absolutely critical. Again, like I said, so many of you are going to miss critical and important items that you're not going to be eligible. So just this one simple thing, if it can help you stay on track, could be the difference between you getting the $5,000 or not. Okay, so literally $1,500 in bonuses, folks, right now. And this, I only offer this on the live calls. My no-brainer guarantee, 100% money back is standard. Folks, I don't want your money if I can't deliver, right? If I can't help people, I don't want money. So I'll give you every penny back. But I take this to another level, okay? This is called my risk reversal no-brainer guarantee if you're sitting there kind of going, I'm not really sure if this is for me. If you don't get the scholarship, okay, I will personally coach you one-on-one until we've exhausted your options. And for folks anyone on the call who's worked with me before, I'm $500 an hour just for my time. I will do that one-on-one for free until we've exhausted your options. That's how confident I am that when we work together, you're going to get the scholarship. Okay. So again, I wanted to make this a no-brainer for you guys. We're going to take a break, but before we do, let me get the link here, and I'll post it up in case you want to talk about it with your friends or family. Let me pull up the chat here. Show this to everyone. All right. So what I just posted in the chat here before we let's take a 10-minute break. I just posted the link. It should be to everybody here in the chat box. This is if you want to secure your spot right now. Again, spots are limited, folks. And there's no question that I'm going to sell out. It just depends on when. So if you want to secure your spot today, that's everything you need to do right there. Talks a little bit about what you get as well, and just some of the testimonials of folks that I've worked with in the past. So anyway, take a look at it, and we're going to take a quick break. And why don't we be back? Let's see. We're actually right on time. So it's 7:48. Why don't we plan to kick off again at 8 o'clock? So what I'll try to do is jump on a couple minutes early and answer any of the remaining questions that we have. And so after I answer the questions, though, I'll also talk a little bit more about the mastermind and answer questions if you have those. Do you offer a military discount? Sorry, Joe, man. I am military, dude. Good question, though. I'm glad you asked it. So anyway, that's up there, and we'll be back. Why don't we plan to be back here in 12 minutes, okay? I'll jump on a little bit early as well. So, all right, guys. See you in a little bit. All right, everybody, coming back on. Hopefully you can hear me. If you can, please punch in the chat box that you can hear me. All right, it says here that you can. Brittany, yep. Awesome. Okay, cool. So it's good. Awesome. Okay, so I do have to check one thing real quick before we get started. I have to check the scores of the football game. So 2 participants have raised hands. Hold on. I don't know why it won't let me. So every other time I've done a Zoom webinar, when someone raises their hand, it lets me accept you, and then you actually go live, and you're able to talk. But for some reason, it's not letting me do that. So sorry about that. If you raised your hand, I'm not able to allow you. Oh my gosh. Look at Penn State. Oh, you put it up there. 49-42. Just under 7 minutes left, and it looks like Auburn, Oklahoma just kicked off. So I hope we can wrap this up. Maybe we can try to wrap this up by 8:45, depending on how many questions we get. But you know what? The content is going to be more important here. But wow, that USC Penn State game, unbelievable. Okay, so we do have just a couple of minutes here. I don't want to kick off too early since I told people 8 o'clock. So if you have any other questions, go ahead and punch them in the chat box. Here's the link to the mastermind again if you didn't get a chance to check that out. And I'm going to open up the Q&A. Looks like I think I answered everything here in the Q&A about what the scholarship can be used for, what it can't. We just logged in. Okay, so another person asked about missing the initial presentation. Absolutely. So I'm gonna find a way to get folks the recording if I can, and I'll make sure that we have a way to do that. But if you're still interested in the mastermind, folks, the link is there. If you have questions about it, again, too, I'm here 24/7. I'm even going to give you, you know what? I'm going to do this right now because I even had this was pretty funny. I had some people contact me through my Facebook page, and they're like, is this just a scam? Are you just, trying to create this dummy link? And I'm like, seriously? Seriously? I'm an Air Force veteran. I'm not going to run something on Facebook that has my name tied to it if it's not real. So here's what I'm going to do, folks. Because I love y'all and I trust you, I just punched something else in the chat box. That's my cell phone number, no joke. That's this, all right? So if you want to text me, you can. I answer text message. If you want to call me, you can. We can also schedule a time to call. I may not answer every call if I'm dealing with my son or something's up with my wife or whatever. But if you want to reach me for any reason, that's legitimately my cell phone number. So I'm happy to give that to you guys. Please don't give it to anybody else, but I'll give it to you guys. Brittany asks, can my tuition and flight school costs be written as a part of the expenses? Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So Brittany, when and this is for everybody too, when you go in to calculate the needs based, right, of the unmet financial need, again, it's based on whatever you put in there. So for example, if it's a family expense, so like if you're looking at how much it costs to live and you're calculating how much your mortgage is, your car payments, whatever it is, those are all factored in as part of your overall living expenses, if you will. So anything related to you, your kids, or your spouse, any of those expenses should be factored in into the needs-based or into the needs-based amount. So odds are, almost everyone I've ever worked with has qualified for the full amount. Very, very rare situations does somebody not qualify for the full $5,000. Okay? Will you be giving us the scholarship webpage later? You know what, Ron? Let me hang on one second. Let me jump on. I don't want to exit the presentation, but Okay. So I think I found it. foldsofhonor.org. I just posted it in the box. Let's make sure that it comes up. Someone said the website was down earlier. I'm not sure if that's actually true or not. And it works. Perfect. So here it is. And I'm even screen sharing so you can see it. So this is actually the Folds of Honor Foundation's website. So once it comes time to apply, regardless of whether you work with me or not, I'm giving you enough information so that you can apply on your own if you want to. Of course, you've got a much better chance of getting the scholarship if you work with me, but you're free to do this on your own as well. Again, though, the scholarship application is not open yet, so I wouldn't expect to see that right now. Okay, I'll take one more question before we get started. Let me jump in the chat here again and see what else is there. If we have 2 kids, do we pay double? Ron, send me an email. Send me an email about that. I can work with you on that. I've never worked with someone that had more than 2 dependents, aka 3. I have worked with someone that had 2, but we were doing the done for you program. So I'm happy to do something for you though, man. I'm not here to make a ton of money. I'm here to cover my expenses at a small profit. So if I can find a way to work with you, I will. And do you have to apply every year, or is it continuous once you received it? Okay, so this is the last question I'll take here before we go on. So you have to apply every year. But what happens is, so let's say the scholarship application window opens February 1st. We apply. You find out in summer that you got the award. The money comes in the fall. What will happen is you have to jump back in the online system for the spring 2018 semester to accept the next payment, okay, which would be like $2,500. At that same time, you'll have to apply again for 2018's year, okay? So theoretically, you're kind of always in this balancing act of accepting the next semester's payment and then applying again for the whole next year, if that answers the question. So it's not continuous once you receive it. You have to apply every year. Okay, I'm going to answer one more. Mike and Bev, welcome. I'm a retired veteran receiving Social Security. Is there a cost? Not sure what you mean by is there a cost. Can you elaborate on that? Applying for the scholarship is free. You can jump in there on your own if you want and do that. See if we get an answer there. Okay, we're going to kick on. We're going to tick on though, folks, because we're already about 6 past here, and I want to try to wrap this up if we can. Anyone who has an update on the score, post that. I think you said something about paying you on the USC Penn State game. That is. Okay, so hey, Mike and Bev, the only reason why you would be paying me anything is if we're working together. One-on-one. So if you don't want to do that, if you want to apply on your own, you certainly don't have to pay for anything. I just help make sure, and I 100% guarantee that if you do work with me, you will get the money. So if you're looking at an ROI, folks, if you're going, I don't know if I really want to pay that much, you're literally going to get a 5 times return on your money, because I guarantee you're going to get the $5,000. So even if you stayed in my mastermind for the whole year, you're going to 5x your money. Okay. Nobody offers a guarantee like that. So, okay. That's all the questions I'm going to take. We're going to kick on this next section. Critically important, because we're talking about the essays. Okay. So the essays, in my opinion, I think are the most important part of this whole application. And they're becoming even more important as the scholarships become more competitive. Okay, so we're going to talk about the strategy there behind the essays. And for some reason, my next button is not working, so I'm going to have to click with the mouse. Okay. Again, I'm a huge fan of quotes. So Man, this Bear Bryant, where's my Roll Tide fans hitting up the chat box? So this is another one of my favorites. It's not the will to win, but the will to prepare to win that makes the difference. That is so true, folks. In everything that I have ever done in my life, it has been preparation. Yeah. See, I see you. I see you taking in the chat box. It's been preparation, folks, that has made the difference. Whether it was prepping for school, prepping for a mission in Afghanistan, preparing for a hockey game, preparing for this call, whatever it is, it's how much are you willing to put into the front end to set yourself up for success. So I think this quote ties in perfectly to you winning the scholarship, right? There's a whole bunch of folks just like you. They're not on this call, but there's thousands and thousands and thousands of other people who are likely going to be applying for the same scholarship you, your dependents, and your spouse are applying for. So just by being on this call, right, you're having the will to prepare to win is something that you're showing. So I think that's important. Preparation is key. Okay. So step 2. So remember step 1, we talked about the DD-214, the VA letter that shows the percentage of service connection. We talked about things that you need if you're the dependent or the spouse, marriage certificate, birth certificate, front and back of military IDs. We talked about those things for step 1, okay? Step 2, this is actually what the online portal looks like, okay? Now, I screenshotted this because I wanted you to see it, all right? These are the 6 main steps that you're going to go through. You'll see that the deadline says March 31st, 2016. That's because this was from last year, of course. But the online portal looks the same for this year. All right, I've seen it. So the first one there on the left-hand side, the service member information, once you create an account at Folds of Honor and you go in, that's really just the basic information. It's going to ask you, who was the service member? Was it mom or dad or somebody else? What percentage disabled are they? What is the proof? You're going to have a button there where you can upload the VA letter that shows the service connection, all of that stuff. That second one, the applicant information, that's everything about you or the dependent or the spouse. Whoever is the person enrolled or accepted into school who's applying for the scholarship, that's where you're going to put everything about that person. So the name of the institution you're attending, any information about classes, GPA to date, all that kind of stuff. The third one there, school information, that gets a little bit more detailed into like what the program is, what the major is. Is it an undergraduate program? Is it a master's program? It's just asking in general more information about your school. And then financial needs. So the fourth one, I think that is one of the most important steps here, folks, because that's where you're showing and calculating what the total unmet financial need is. Now, what you punch into that box is going to directly correlate to how much of the scholarship you're going to get. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Rick. 42-49. Penn State leads, 2:16 left. I'm glad we got that captured. Thank you. That financial need block, though, folks, is critical. And this is also one that I really help folks with in my mastermind, or if I'm doing this for you. I guarantee you we can find that there is a financial need, okay? Regardless of how much money you make, regardless of how many scholarships you have, I guarantee you that because of what the scholarship covers, that there's some unmet need there that we can cover, okay? Step 5, we're going to deep dive that here in a second. I'm going to show you some of the real essay questions from last year so you can see kind of what they ask. The essays, expect 2 to 3 of them. Expect 2 to 3 paragraphs at least for both. And we're going to talk more about that strategy. And then there is a survey at the end. And there's 2 more steps actually that I didn't put on here. One of them is the actual award acceptance. So once you find out you got the scholarship, you actually have to log back in and accept it. I've seen people get the scholarship, forget to go in because they did it on their own. They forgot to go in on their own and accept the award. they didn't do that, they got 0. All right. That's another reason why being in my mastermind helps you. You'll make sure that you get what you got or what you deserved. Okay. And then the second step is you've got to upload some things for the following semester. I didn't put that on here just because it's a little bit irrelevant at this point. Okay. Is it just for university college? It's accepted at community colleges too. That's one question I'll answer on the fly there before we tick on. Okay, so we covered step 1, folks. Everything regarding basic eligibility, things to start getting in order. All right, we're ahead of the game, but that's good. And then we talked about step 2 here, the 6-step online application process and what it looks like. And now we're going to tick on to what I think is the most important step, and that is drafting your essays. Another quote, this is one of my favorites. I would have written you a shorter letter, but I didn't have the time. Folks, what this is talking about is it's harder to be more clear and more concise. It's easy to ramble. I can jump on right now and start typing an email, blah, 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 blah. And I could probably write a 2-page email that says almost nothing. But when you get down to it, if you start trying to write shorter, it becomes harder, it becomes more difficult. But that is the strategy that I advise everyone takes in their essays. Be more clear, be more concise. If you can, when in doubt, cut it out, okay? So expect 2 to 3 essay questions, likely 2 to 3 paragraphs each in your response. The actual essay questions themselves are fairly short, as I'm going to show you. But the responses that you have to each of those questions are critical, okay? And I'm going to talk a little bit about that when we step forward here. This is a big one too. So I've sat on admissions panels before, and I've sat in the room for this scholarship and for the essay reviews, okay? This is a big one. If I am reading your essays and I'm trying to determine if I'm going to give you the scholarship, okay? The more emotional impact you can have with me, the better off you're going to be. So if I read an essay that really talks about adversity and how you overcame that adversity, maybe you dealt with a significant issue in your personal life and you overcame that, that's creating an emotional impact with the reader, and that's going to set you apart from other applicants who only scratch the surface, okay? Make the story personal and right from the heart. When you read it, I'm not saying you don't have to tell a sob story, and you don't have to write something that's fake. But at the same time, everybody has a story. Everybody has something that they've overcome, something that they've learned from their mom or dad's service, from their spouse's military service, whether it's deployments, holding down the fort at home, whatever that is. All right, make the story personal. Write about you. This is your chance to talk about you. All right. Spelling, grammar, and punctuation are very important. If you're not great at writing, learn quickly or work with me, okay? Because I am a good writer. But spelling, grammar, and punctuation are critical, and it separates winning essays from losing essays, okay? Now I'll talk quick about a strategy here as we get forward. And finally, when in doubt, cut it out. If you think it's too long, it probably is. If you think it's irrelevant or it doesn't need to be there, take it out. All right. So this is, folks, a real example essay question. Actually, I'm going to show you the 3 from last year. This is a real essay question from last year. I'll let you read those 3 real quick. And just think in your mind how you might respond to these. And then I'll talk just a little bit about how I would respond. I'm going to check the score while you're reading. Oh my gosh, it's tied at 49 with 1:20 left. Okay, so the first part there, tell us about your biggest success of this past school year or semester. What have you learned about yourself? What is the most exciting lesson that you have learned this year, and why? So this is kind of a softball question. I would expect the essays this year are going to be more in-depth and more difficult than this. But anytime you see something that talks about a success, try to tie that into a service component of how you helped somebody, how you did something that was bigger than yourself, right? Which is kind of what the military and kind of what our core values are all about. So, it's something like this. Instead of focusing on a personal success, I would focus on a team success. I would focus on maybe another student that you helped, or something that's involved in service, okay, for the first part. For that second question, it's asking you specifically, what did you learn about yourself during this past school year or semester? Feel free to talk about you. It's asking you a question very specific and related to you. What's the most exciting lesson you have learned this year, and why? Actually do something exciting, okay? I remember reviewing some essays of people last year in round one, and they put that, one of them put that their most exciting lesson that they learned was that they actually were good enough to make the club rugby team or something like that. And I went back to him and I was like, dude, that's not an exciting lesson that you learned. That's talking about how you overcame, drinking all kinds of beer in your fraternity and realizing you can make a club rugby team. Again, that's an example, folks, of what not to do. When you're thinking about something exciting, think about something, an awakening that you had within yourself. It could be service related. It could be, for the first time in my life, I realized that if I put my mind to something and I worked hard at it, even through all the struggles of working a full-time job or a part-time job and going to school full-time, I realized that I can accomplish anything that I set out to do. So something like that, okay? Essay question 2. So again, this is a real essay, folks, from last year. I expect these essays are going to change as soon as they're released. And as soon as they are, for anyone I'm working with one-on-one or in my Ignite Mastermind, we'll be deep diving these right away about how you should respond. So again, I'm going to give you just a couple minutes there to read anything about those first two, and then we'll talk about them. Okay, so again, kind of highlighting keywords. So sometimes it's the little words that are used that are the biggest thing. So biggest struggle, and what have you learned from it? So again, this is asking something very personal, something you struggled through. It could be depression. It could be, being away from home for the first time. It could be, my mom and dad have been deployed for so long that I really struggled once I got to college. I didn't know who I was. But the key part here is that second piece. What have you learned from it? I've read essays before where people talk about the big struggle, but they fail to talk about what they learned from it. That's a losing essay, okay? If you don't talk about how you overcame something, how you fought through adversity, and how you won, right? How you got off the bench and into the game, that's what puts the essay over the top. So in this one, I would really focus on that last piece, which is what did you learn, okay? And then is there any advice you give someone? This is kind of a softball as well. Anyone who's about to enter school for the first time, or they're about to start their educational journey, what advice would you give them? That could be something as simple as, hey, plan, prepare, kind of like the Bear Bryant quote. I prepared, I kept a journal, I kept a very detailed notebook of assignments and when they were due to make sure that I didn't miss anything. That's a pretty simple answer there. But that first one is not so simple because a lot of people forget about that second piece. Okay? We'll tick on here, and this is the final essay question from last year. I think this is the hardest one to answer. And the reason is that first one really is open-ended. So how do you be very clear and concise in 1 to 2 paragraphs with a question that just says, tell us about your service member, okay? So whether that's mom or dad or husband or wife, this is where working with me or being in my group, we're going to spend some time together and really talk about the service component, where there are deployments involved, What kinds of things did you learn when your mom or dad were TDY all the time, or your spouse was TDY all the time? You're going to want to get very deep on this one. But in about a paragraph or a paragraph and a half, how do you really explain service, selflessness, sacrifice, what this person went through that really made the country better, made you better, made your family better, but made the country better, right? Again, this focus area is on something bigger than yourself. And that second piece there, what piece of advice or lesson learned from him or her helps you today? Again, that's a tough one too. So it's really asking for one thing. What's one thing you took away that is really helping you today? So that could be something like, I've never seen my dad work so hard as when he worked for the U.S. Army. And what I mean by work hard is he put he put his team and he put the needs of his troops above himself all the time. Give an example of what that meant and how that helps you today. So, okay. So hopefully that helps. That's just kind of setting the strategy piece. And again, then, once we start reviewing your essays and your documents and we start looking at spelling, punctuation, grammar, sentence structure, does the flow make sense? Those pieces are critical too. But in terms of essay strategy, that's how I would have responded to these from last year. Okay. Q&A time. All right, so we're right on schedule again, folks. It's about 8:25. We'll do maybe 5 or 10 minutes or so of Q&A. I know a number of folks here have popped some other questions up in the chat box, so I'll jump up there first. Oh, good. So we've got some people are keeping us updated on the game here. Looks like, oh man, are we going to be a tie? Looks like we might be a tie into overtime unless someone kicks a field goal. Okay, so I don't think I have any other questions on the chat right now, but I'll leave that up. 2 in college. Can we both? Yep, we can. I didn't get the email until 7:30 p.m. Sorry about that, Mike and Bev. I don't know what happened there. I had my assistant send out the notes, so I'll have to check and see when everything went out. So sorry about that if you missed some of the initial presentation. Is the scholarship limited to citizenship? No, it's not. You just have to be a dependent of the service member. I came late. Can I please get the link to apply for the scholarship? Sure. So it's, you know what? I'm going to type, I don't have the link copied, but if you Google Folds of Honor, that's going to be the link. And let's see here. I came late. Please. Okay. Can this scholarship be used for private school for children under 18? Okay. So there is one other scholarship that I haven't talked about. If you're 90, USC wins. Oh my goodness. Game-winning field goal. So they did. They were able to kick. Wow. Okay. To answer that question though, so if you are a service-disabled veteran, 90% or 100%, okay, so 90% or higher, there is a children's fund scholarship that can be used for children K through 12, okay? I'll say that one more time. If you're 90+% disabled, so 90% disabled or above, there is something called the Children's Fund Scholarship, which allows you to get up to $5,000 per year for folks K through 12. So for example, I'm 90% disabled. So my son Dylan will be eligible to get $5,000 for private school coming up this go round. So I plan to apply for him. Can this also be used for, I'm not, Mike and Bev, if you could type that again, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. For the need-based data, will that have anything to do with the FAFSA process? So the only thing it has to do with FAFSA is it might ask you, it depends how they structure it this year, but it might ask you about how much federal funding you're getting. Okay, even though I know federal funding you have to pay back, it might ask you how much you're getting, and so you will need to be a little bit careful in that needs based of what you put there. Hey, Brittany, yes. So the Children's Scholarship is through Folds of Honor as well, just like the higher education. But anyone who's, of course, in my mastermind group or works with me one-on-one, if you're in that situation, we'll work on the Children's Scholarship as well. So I put my my mastermind up there again one more time for folks who want to see it. And I'll run you through that one more time here before we end. So anyway, so I'm also going to put my cell phone in there again one more time. So folks, that is my cell phone right there. If you want to text me, call me, whatever, that really is my number. So I make myself available to everybody. Please, you haven't sent the name of the site to apply to. It's called Folds of Honor Foundation. I think it's just www.foldsofhonor.org. See if that works. So that's the actual name of the site. Oops. I sent that just to the panelists. Sorry, Rico. So I'm going to send this to everyone here. Foldsofhonor.org. Okay, that should be it. Hopefully that works. So the scholarship, the higher education scholarship, as well as the Children's Fund Scholarship are both offered through the Folds of Honor Foundation. I posted the link right there. You're welcome. Again, you're welcome to apply on your own. I think the things that I'm teaching you today, you're armed with enough to try. But obviously, if you do that on your own, only 1 in 6 of you are going to be successful. And I can't guarantee that you're going to be successful. But if you want to do it on your own, you certainly can. It's certainly up to you. Okay? All right. So let's step through here. Let's see if it goes and lets me do this. All right. So we're going to do this one more time for anyone who missed this. I want to take you through this again. If you literally want to guarantee that you're going to get the $5,000 scholarship, folks, this is everything that I'm going to give you, and I'm going to 100% guarantee it. Okay? $10,000 that I've got for my spouse, no joke. I've helped hundreds of veterans get over $750,000 in scholarships. 24/7 support. Again, I posted my cell phone number right there so you know what I'm all about. And I'm going to help guide your dependents, son or daughter, you, your spouse, throughout the entire application and acceptance process. And ongoing help and support to create your resume, how to interview like an expert, how to land your dream job, and tons more every single month. So when you're in my mastermind, not only are you going to get the $5,000 scholarship guaranteed every year that you're eligible, I'm also going to be giving you and releasing awesome content all the time that you can use and implement on a daily basis, whether it's for your life or to land your dream job. So most folks that I've found and worked with over the years who are in school, whether they're in college or in a master's program or a doctorate or whatever, you're in a transitionary phase where you're probably looking to do something else or land your first job, and you need help. And so that's what we do inside my mastermind. It's much, much, much more than just the scholarship. Okay? So here's just what you're going to get, right off the bat. Okay? You're going to get immediate access to my members only group. You can ask me questions, get answers, receive personal help, and you're going to be able to connect with people in the group. I'm also going to give you access to my 2-hour mentoring series. I've got video instruction where I literally do on-screen tutorials, and I break down the scholarship application process for you and make it super simple, easy. Okay? Those same strategies, the numbers speak for themselves. I'm really proud of that. And you get access to me. So that's probably the biggest thing, is to have a coach, to have a mentor who's guiding you. That's what you get. You get access to me. We do monthly calls over this same platform. The cool thing is, in the mastermind group, I'm able to turn on all y'all's video and let you guys come on. And so You're going to be able to see all the little thumbnails, and we can talk to each other and get to know everybody. We release monthly lessons. We're going to do essay reviews. I'll make sure, all right, that what happened to that guy who applied, wins the scholarship, forgets to go back and accept it, and doesn't get anything. I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen to you, okay? Deadline information and a ton more. So those are just some of the things that you get. Again, I'll just run you through the two options real quick. The done for you, this is the option that is more expensive. I only have 20 spots here, and I'm only going to work with a very select group of people in the done for you program just because it takes so much of my time. But it's very fair. I mean, it's 50-50. You're guaranteed to 2 times your money. If you're interested in that, shoot me an email, shoot me a text, and we can set up a strategy session to see if that's a good fit for you. If that's not, if you're looking for a little bit more cost-effective option and you're looking to do this with a group and with me, the done with you, option 2 would be the better fit. We're going to work together in my mastermind, and I literally guarantee, 100% guarantee that you will get the scholarship if you attend 80% of the sessions and submit everything on time. Unfortunately, I can't guarantee the $5,000 scholarship if we're doing it together and you forget to go in and click submit, all right? But if for some reason you do the work and you don't get the scholarship, I literally will give you every penny back. I don't want your money, no joke. So those are the 2 options there. And here's how you can join us, okay? If you're interested in the done for you, shoot me an email, brian@genyIgnite.com. We'll set up a strategy session. If option 2 makes more sense for you, you can secure your spot today. I have not opened enrollment yet in the class, but since you guys are here and you're the first group, the doors are open for you, but I am going to fill up. There's no question that I'll fill up. So if you're interested, take advantage now. And are you ready? Are you ready to ignite your life and career? Again, it's like that Bear Bryant quote. It's about preparation, folks. It's about preparing to get the scholarship, preparing for the life and career that you want. Okay? And then, of course, giving back. Folks, these 2 things, again, Folds of Honor, with all the scholarships that they give, millions of dollars they've pumped out over the last 3 years. That's only growing. The need continues to grow. And so I'm happy that we can give back to the foundation that's supporting all of us and all of the scholarships that we get. And then, of course, AMVETS, which is the organization that helps disabled vets with their disabilities claims. I love to support them as well. So 10% of everything we do, no matter what we do, goes back to support these initiatives. It's stuff that's really, really, really important to me. And of course, the bonuses that you're going to get. So this is if you sign up today. Okay, these are the things that you're going to get, guys. 3 awesome, awesome bonuses. And don't leave yet. Stay till the end because I have something else for you too. Bonus 1, of course, is you get that private coaching call with me. We'll discuss your strategy. You're going to get 4 actual essays that have won this exact scholarship twice, broken down with comments and feedback. So even though in this video we discussed the essays, what I'm actually going to do is give you the essays with the response, with comments and feedback, so you can see why things are there and structured the way that they are. And I'm also going to give you my quick start scholarship checklist to keep you organized and on track. That's $1,500, folks, of bonuses today. Okay. Again, my no-brainer guarantee, 100% money back. If you don't get it for some odd reason, which I've never had anyone not get it, I will coach you one-on-one until we've exhausted the options. And I'm normally $500 an hour. No joke. I will do that. Okay. Team, this is my last quote for the day before we get to your giveaway bonus. Together, everyone achieves more. This might seem cliche and simple. It is simple, but it's not cliche. Every winning team I've ever been on, every great mastermind group I've ever led or been a part of, this truly is the concept. The done with you concept truly is about team and about how we're all made better by what we all do together. Okay. So before we get to the bonuses, I'll jump in the chat here one more time if it opens up here. And I'll post this one more time. So there's my mastermind link again for y'all to join. Again, the price is going to go up. Enrollment is going to get tougher, but this is your chance right now to join right now. So it's in the chat box, folks. If for some reason you're not able to get on the link or you're not able to sign up today, send me an email, explain your situation, and I'll try to find a way to get you enrolled. Okay, truly, thanks for sticking around. Bonus time. I know we've been here a long time. We got football games on. It was a day off for a lot of federal employees and military members, so I know it's getting late as well. You've got little ones, so we'll get to this. So one of the things that I do, and again, my clicker's not working, is this. All right. So this is your bonus for sticking around. It's $149 value, my gift to you just for spending time with us together. This is the kind of stuff that I do all the time. So if you email me, I'm going to send you a copy. Now, you have to have been on this live call, and I can see who's here. If you shoot me an email, I'm going to send you the ultimate resume template. That's no joke, for real, recommended by Harvard Business School. If you don't know what Harvard Business School is, it's arguably the #1 business school in the world. And it's the actual resume template that they give to their MBA graduates, that they give to apply for investment banking. They tell them these are the resume, this is the format you should have when you're applying for internships. And I have it. I've tweaked it slightly. I think it's even better. But I've tweaked it slightly, but it's recommended by Harvard Business School, no joke. I'm going to send the template to you, for you, your kids, whoever wants it. $149 value. It's my gift to you. Just shoot me an email. And if you also have any questions about the programs, if you have questions about the scholarship or eligibility, shoot me that or text me. I'm going to jump one more time into chat. Looks like there's a question there. So you're saying you pay $1,500 fund, then once you get the scholarship, $1,500 more? No. So if it's the done, if you're looking at the done for you, Felice, where I do all the work for you, meaning literally I do everything for you. You don't do anything. It's $1,250 up front, and $1,250 after you get the scholarship, the $5,000. If you don't get the scholarship, you don't pay me anything, and I give you all your money back that you've already paid me. Okay? So that's the deal with that. Adrian A.D. King, so I really apologize, sir. I can't have you put the email. If you just put your email there, I'm going to lose it once we exit out. So shoot me an email. I'm going to punch it in the chat box here, brian@genyIgnite.com. If you send me an email, I will send you the ultimate resume template. Or anything else that you want. Thank you so much. Great webinar, Brian. Thanks for the information and for your service, both active. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really, really, really do love helping and serving folks. So I hope you see that in my heart. Making time to just do stuff like this is something that I love to do, and it's fun. So if there's anything I didn't cover, we've almost gone 2 hours, not quite. I'll stick around. I'll stick around here for as long as you guys have questions. If I know folks, you've got other commitments and stuff. So if you want to drop off, I totally understand that. Again, if you're interested in working with me one-on-one or me doing all the work for you, just send me an email and explain the situation, and we'll set up a time to talk. Just a free strategy call to make sure it's a good fit. If that's not a good fit, and you're interested in joining my mastermind right now, I put the link up again right there in the chat box, so you can take a peek there if you want to sign up right now. Again, I have not opened enrollment, but I'm opening enrollment for you guys right now. So you're the first group that's getting a crack at that. No problem, Kelsey. Happy to help. And that's awesome. Super. I'm excited to work with you too. And for anyone that's here in Texas too, I'm just in San Antonio. So if anyone wants to meet up in person, I'd be happy to do that as well. Love to get together and have an IPA. love beer. Yeah, I'd love to do that. Mike and Bev, you just sent me an email. Thanks so much. Okay, absolutely. Happy to help. Happy to help. You guys too. Have a great night and have a great week. And I think I've got one more slide here. Yeah. So I don't want y'all to leave till we do this. So thank you for your service. No kidding. And God bless you and your family. As a veteran, I truly know, as someone who's been TDY a ton, who's been deployed a ton, who's been in war and experienced horrible, horrible things. I understand. I really do understand your service and your sacrifice. So truly, truly thank you for your service, your sacrifices, and God bless you and your family. Okay? If there's anything I didn't cover, again, folks, shoot me a note. I'm going to jump in chat one more time, and I'm going to leave my email, unite.com, and I'm going to leave my cell phone, 214-797-8889, if you want to text me or call me. Okay? Awesome, y'all. Again, thank you so much. It was awesome. I really enjoyed you, and thank you guys for being here. I know it was a long time. So, all right. God bless, and we'll see you guys soon.